This episode of the Horror Basement is brought to you by Connuga, going on February 23rd through the 25th in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Go check them out at connuga.com.
Check out Nightmare Toys for all your horror collectible needs at nightmaretoys.com.
Hi, I'm Bill Mosley, and you're in the Horror Basement with Jim Jam and Johnny Leroy. Lick my plate, you dog dick.
Welcome to the Horror Basement, the Tennessee Horror News Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Johnny Leroy. As always, we got Jim Jam over there with us.
Jim Jam here.
Alright guys, so as usual, Connuga's coming up. You need to check it out. If you're in Middle Tennessee, a couple hours away, it's well worth the drive. Multi-fandom event. And man, their panels are amazing. They got tons of panels. You know what I'm saying? Tons of panels.
Oh yeah, they got a
everything.
Lot. And speaking of that, their app went live today with everything is what they said is correct. So go check. You can get the app on the
Google Play,
and the iTunes or whatever it is.
Is it on iTunes?
Yeah, it's on both of them.
Hell yeah, yeah. You definitely need to check that out because you can keep up with. Yeah, you can keep up with all of the events that you want to go to. Like, you can click on what you want to go to and have it remind you 5 to 10 minutes before.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the app comes in handy. And you can get in contact with people on there like, hey,
oh yeah,
I got this I need help with. Or I got something, like whatever, your costume, maybe somebody has an idea. Because if you're into anime, if you're into just cosplay, hell, if you're into playing board games, they got a shit ton of board games to play.
Yeah.
They got panels talking about board games, talking about anime, talking about comics, and especially talking about horror. Because we are trying to bring up the horror track there at Connuga. That is our, Tennessee Horror News, baby. Tennessee Horror News.
Okay, hit this.
Hit this, tnhorror.com. Yeah, that probably doesn't need to be in the screen. But, yeah. So, I mean, that's what we're trying to do, which everybody should know by now, because we talk about it quite a bit,
Oh, yeah, because this is our biggest...
and we're going to have a fan choice award for the best short film there. The fan choice award. Because that's what I've been thinking. Like, that'll be the fan choice award, and then between us and Yeti and a couple other people, we can go choose our best horror short film, and we can do the audience best short film. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Have a few awards. And we're still working out the details, right? Like, I mean, we still got over a month to go, or about a month. So, but we'll get it all worked out.
Oh, yeah. So we still have a couple more shorts we're waiting on, and we should have all that we need.
Yeah, and it's not going to be like all day thing, Like,
it's only, I think, 2 hours.
Yeah. So about an hour and a half so that we can, or hour and a half, so we can get the votes counted. Because last year at the horror short film show that we had, there's about 30 or 40 people there. And it was probably, the room was packed. I mean, was it a big room? No. But people were sitting down, people were standing up, and it attracted a lot of people to this panel. And that's what we're hoping this year, that we get that same support, because it's going to be in a bigger area, like what they're doing for us this year, where they're showing the movies at midnight, and then we're doing the horror short panel. It's way bigger.
Oh, yeah. I was trying to pull up. Maybe I can turn my...
Oh, find the picture?
Oh, well, this is... I don't know if you can see it.
No, they can't see that.
Well, that's the app for Android.
Yeah, they can't.
Yeah, you can't see it.
Can't see that. Just go to Google Play.
Yeah. Go to Google Play. You can get it. Yeah, it looks like you can message on here, I think, can't you?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You can post messages.
Oh, you can buy tickets on here. Oh, no, it just sends you to the website where you can buy them.
Yeah, but still, download the Connuga app. And it's the 2018 version. It's not the old one, not the Connuga 10, the 2008-17. So make sure you look at that. And also, this podcast is on Scurryface Radio at scurryface.com. SCURRY face.com. And, of course, SoundCloud.
Hey, on the speakers, we got our own little thing.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
There we go.
And there's my phone for the first video recording of our podcast. I did not put it on vibrate. That was good of me.
Yeah.
But it's the Predator.
Yeah. Or it kind of sounds like...
No, it doesn't. Just shut up. No,
Shut me down, fucker.
No, it doesn't.
No. But yeah, get that app for sure. That's a good app to have if you're not you need to be going to Conduga because it's phenomenal. Because we're gonna be there.
Yes, right? Yes, we are.
You know you want to come see these beautiful faces in person.
Yeah, we try not to blind you, but
oh
my God, you're blinded. Oh, I just turned around.
Blinded by...
No.
But yeah. So who do we want to go ahead and say it? Who we got coming on?
Oh, we got the director of Who's Watching Oliver. I think we're keeping a theme here these past few weeks.
Richie Moore, yeah.
Yeah, Richie Moore. We did interview Rich Ragsdale last week, but we got Richie. Richie Rich.
He said Richard.
No, Richie Moore. Director of Who's Watching Oliver. And what was I going to say? He also was involved with Mission Impossible.
Really?
Yeah, he's the one I believe that was involved with Mission Impossible and all that because I looked up his IMDb. He was involved with. He was also involved with. Oh crap, man! What's that movie where they go on that bachelor thing and they all get fucked up?
Oh, Hangover.
Hangover. What's
What
that
the
movie?
fuck? How are you not going to know that?
I went blank, dude. I do know it. I haven't watched that movie in forever, though. The first one was really fun.
Yeah.
As any movie goes, the first one is always, well, not always, but usually the best.
Yeah, it's usually hard to top the first one. You know, it was weird, the first one, because I didn't, it's like, you didn't get to see what happened that night, but you just get to watch them replay what happened, or whatever, I don't know.
Yeah, they went back in time.
Yeah.
Right?
Trying to pull up Richie Moore on.
I've already done that. What do you need to know?
Sorry, what do you need to know?
Stop in Richie Moore.
He's directed.
It's not spelled with a Y either.
This is his first time directing too, because he's normally a cinematographer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was involved. I think he was He
operates the camera for all these.
But he's done a couple of short films too. Screaming at the Stars, and oh crap, what's the other one? I don't have it pulled up, but there's another short film. I forget now. He's doing a real good job.
So yeah, Richie Moore, first time
Oh
directing.
yeah, Crazy Medicine. Because I looked up them. I was trying to find them short films. I was hoping that, you know how some people put short films on YouTube, and I was hoping that I could watch his short films. They're not up there. Oh well, maybe we can get in when we talk to him. Maybe we can get a hold of them.
Find out where they are.
Yeah, maybe we can get a hold of them. I don't know if they're horror, but I'd still like to watch them because they're both based in. Well, not both of them, but Crazy Medicine is also kind of like in Bangkok, I believe.
Yeah, he
A
lives
lot
there,
of pretty
so
women. A lot of pretty women in that. Of course, there's good-looking women in every movie, though. So I should guess.
Are you sure they're women?
Yeah, they are. They are not lady boys. Hey guys. No.
What is that he said on that movie, Ted? He said it ain't chicks with dits, it's guys with tits.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Anyways,
So
check this out on all social media.
yeah, all social media. You can
And
also
hit us up on Twitter, guys.
Yeah, Twitter, Instagram, and all that good
Check
stuff.
out CML Entertainment. Hit up Isaac Thorne. Buy his books. Yeah. Nashville Nightmares having the
Valentine's Day thing.
Love Bites.
Oh, February.
In
Beginning
February.
of February.
Yeah, it's like the weekend before
the weekend before.
Valentine's Day. So bring your bitch out. Fucking get her scared. Maybe that's why I don't have a woman.
Because you're an asshole.
Yeah. Bring your bitch out. Take her out to a movie. And
That's how you
have her
talk
go
to
scared.
them.
Yeah, no, that's not how you talk to them. I know better. And that was a joke, guys. Just a joke. So, but, away we go. Alright, guys, so on today's podcast, we have director of Who's Watching Oliver. I think we got a theme here. Richie Moore. What's going on, Richie? How are you, sir?
I'm very good, thanks. How you guys doing?
Man, we're doing good. We appreciate you coming on. Like you said, it was early over there in Bangkok. And we appreciate you getting up and talking to us. So
well, I'm happy that we're getting some exposure, and we have some people interested in the movie.
Oh yeah, for sure. We're interested, but I went back onto the emails and found where they sent us the email, and I wasn't able to get to watch it. I was like, damn, the password don't work no more.
Yeah. I mean, back in March, was it?
Yeah, it's March.
Back in March, we got an email for the screener but one of our former writers done the screener for it, he done the review for it, and so that's been close going on a year now. So more, I guess they had to move on, and like you said in the messages, got to keep preventing from
that's what
piracy or whatever.
Yeah, ultimately, nowadays you've just got to be really careful with the media to not let it leak before you get your distribution all lined up. And
hell yeah. Hell yeah.
So I don't even have access to the film myself, to be honest.
No, that's fine. We'll just we'll just wait till I guess when it comes out somewhere.
Yeah. Hopefully it'll get.
I mean, I can't go into any of the details about the distribution deal, but I could say that we do have a distribution deal in place, and we're really happy about it. And we'll have an official announcement about the distribution details pretty soon in the weeks to come.
Sweet.
Hell yeah, because from the way who did the review? I forget. Bradford. That's who I know who it was, but then my mind went blank. From his review, and then from talking to Russell, it seems like a really good movie.
Just trailer,
a fucked up movie.
The trailer alone looks crazy as hell.
Yeah, a fucked up movie, but a good one.
We've been really. I'm really surprised at the way it's been received. All the festival awards that we've got. We've got 13 best feature film awards and several best acting awards. The acting was phenomenal, but I'm really surprised at how much attention we've been getting on the film. It's been brilliant. Way better than any of us ever expected.
Well, I mean, was that surprising?
Well, to be honest, I knew that we were making a film that was quite disturbing, and shocking. The subject matter is, I mean, it kind of made my skin crawl while we were, writing the film, to be honest. And it's funny when, having to switch gears from writing to actually executing the movie. It's a interesting phenomena where you realize now you have to, you can write it, we can dig deep into our imaginations, and we wanted it to be really honest and disturbing, but then having to execute it was really challenging, and we all kind of made a pact and a promise that we were going to follow through with all everything that we wrote, and we did so. And I have to take I co-wrote the film with Raymond Huber and Russell Banks, who you guys had on the podcast, but we made a pact that we weren't going to be pussies, and we were going to follow through with how hardcore and disturbing we had intended it to be. So I expected to get a lot of flack, to be honest.
Yeah, that's.
And I certainly,
I believe you probably will. once it comes out?
I'm fully expecting it. So far, it's been nothing but really great reviews, and it's been very well received. But I braced myself for some serious, critique. But it hasn't really hit yet. I mean, I got a little bit. There was, it was still a really great review, but somebody kind of they touched on some of my my biggest fears, quote unquote.
Can you say what that is, or your biggest?
Oh, really? To be honest, I grew up in Portland, Oregon. I have a really great relationship with my mother and a lot of respect for women. But in the film, the way the dynamics of the film, the way the story played out, I felt like for me I was breaking, two kind of ethical cardinal rules that I kind of I had set up for myself, which was I don't want to objectify women, and I also don't want to make women my villains just by I didn't want to be like I just see a lot of mistakes. I'm also a father. I have 2 daughters, and I felt like kind of ethically I was pushing myself into an area that I wanted to avoid, because I feel like too many films kind of go into that area. But I actually, to be honest, I had a conversation with my mother about it. I said, before I ever made the film, I just was kind of warning her, like, look, the villain is a mother. And I said, and we had a really serious conversation about it. She said, well, Richie, the truth is that, women as our mothers and the roles that they play in our life is that they are the most powerful entities, in human life and in a man's life. And when they go dark, it's incredibly powerful. And in the film, that's really the ultimate villain is the mother, and the our protagonist is objectifying women, and he's a serial killer and he's killing girls. So it was kind of tough for me to tackle that and just kind of push through it and realize that these are all very significant metaphors.
Yeah, has your mom watched the film? Just curious.
No, she hasn't seen it yet.
Okay, I was just curious. I didn't.
Man, I'm really curious to see what her reaction is going to be. But I mean, she's not a big fan of horror to begin with.
Oh, okay.
So it's going to be. But to be honest, the film it's as much a it's also very romantic, and it's got a kind of a soft heart and a lot of charm to it. There's this very sweet story buried beneath all the shocking brutality of it.
Yeah, because watching the trailer, because that's all I can go off of. Like when he's walking through the streets, and he's all like, I guess you'd call him kind of nerdy looking. With the clothes, and I guess that's what. Yeah. I don't know how else to word it, but then they show where he's dragging the girl back in, like he's a totally different person. Like he's on the street, he looks all shy, and he's all like, walking around like. But then like when he's in at night in the dark, it's just he's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Well, Russell and I, we did a lot of research to make this character as honest and realistic as possible. As far as we watched probably 200 serial killer documentaries together.
Damn.
And then we did we kind of gave a psychological profile and a deep back history to the character, and I wanted to, and Russell took it on really hardcore heavy, and I mean, he really, I'm just incredibly impressed with his performance. But I think that early on we really wanted to create a realistic, believable serial killer. That that wasn't just, it's not just some movie villain. I mean, he's a real guy that we kind of gave him a psychiatric profile, and we did some research on different medications, and what a mix of medications, the way they make you behave, and he's got kind of shades of autism, and he's a psychopath. But the psychopath spectrum of his character comes from neglect and abuse, rather than really something that he was born with. You know what I mean? So he had that. He's got this nerdy, very he's got this kind of timeless nerdiness, where his mother dressed him basically, and he never really grew out of that. But yeah, I mean, that's what you see on the surface, but then you dig into it, and it's and I mean, Russell had to go into that character and stay there for a long period of time, and it's very taxing on him personally, and the movie itself ended up being it was an incredibly intense process.
Oh yeah, I bet. Let me ask you. The working on all the other films that you've worked on in the past, how did it help you to direct this movie?
Yeah, so I mean, you guys have probably seen some of my credits that I have. So
yeah,
I did.
Russell was talking about them. So
yeah, I did.
He's giving you high
I worked
praise.
On The Hangover. Yeah, I worked on The Hangover 2, Mission Impossible, Ghost Protocol. I did No Escape with Pierce Brosnan, Owen Wilson. And then I did Marco Polo Netflix TV series.
Yeah,
but I mean, I have a long list of credits. I've been working on big Hollywood movies since I was a kid, really. So for the last going on 30 years now, 27 years now since I started working in film. So my father's a director, cameraman. So I grew up on film sets since I was 5 years old.
Oh, that's cool. That's real cool.
But I've been, I really took my time with stepping up to direct, and I would say, I mean, it's odd to go from I work on the biggest Hollywood movies and Hollywood projects where you've got more or less, I mean, unlimited resources and talent.
Yep.
So for me to make that step, I mean, to be honest, mostly I work as a camera operator, which is a really great position to sit in for a period of time while if you want to move into directing. For me, and by the way, I love operating camera. It's like a dream job. I could easily do that for the rest of my life and be very happy doing it. But I just found this kind of this urge and this push to start directing. And I work closely with the actors and the directors when I'm operating camera, and the cinematographers as well. But I found my passion, shifting from the cinematography to the storytelling aspects, and especially working with actors. So, and I've had this blessing and luxury of working with incredibly talented directors that had a huge impact on me. And I get to wear the cans, right? So I get to hear everything that's being said by the actors, because they're all mic'd, and the conversations that the directors are having with them if the sound department leaves the mics on. So I've had this deep, voyeuristic look at the role of a director for many years now, and it gives me a lot of confidence. You get to sit there and listen to conversations, and you create bonds with the cast and the actors, and it's all about the story, which I found that was it's one of the most beautiful things when we get to go to work, and the focus is to tell a story. And I realized, I started becoming more obsessed and passionate about storytelling over the mechanical, technical aspects of cinematography. So that was, yeah. I mean, I hope that answered your question.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because that's what I was curious about, how you worked with like being on them and learning from the other directors, which you touched on.
Yeah, it's a touchy area to be in because you want to, you want the director to know that you're like a fearless soldier for them, and that you have to follow their lead, always. And you can't, but then to be able to become a more intimate part of the storytelling process when you understand the story and the vision, and also you have to have a lot of respect for what the cast is going through because, it's forever. It's forever for all of us, as filmmakers.
Oh, yeah.
Like everything that we do,
it's out there.
It's literally it's forever. It's going to be part of my body of work. Long after I'm dead, the body of work will stand, and I take that very seriously. I mean, we're kind of in some ways we're sculpting, modern humanity and philosophy and ethics through our storytelling and communication, and I take that very seriously. It's a big part of my identity.
Yeah. So the one question that I remember wanting to ask you now is, after being a director, are you going to go back to doing like cameraman work, or is it just, like that? Now you've got that taste of directing.
Yeah, I hear you. Ultimately, I would like to continue to work as a cameraman, as a camera operator, and a cinematographer on other projects with other directors for as long as I'm allowed to. Again, it goes back to kind of like the, at some point the gods of film, will kind of. I have a feeling that my career will get to a point where, my agent and or my producers aren't going to let me go off and work on other projects anymore. So for now, I'm really enjoying continuing to work as a camera operator and a cinematographer on other big projects because I get to have this. I have an opportunity to watch and learn from brilliant directors, and I think it's something that a lot of directors that I work with, it's kind of obvious when they don't really have broader scope of experience and understanding on with different directors, different projects, because they've been very much like kind of a lone wolf their whole career, where they've just been the director. So there's part of the process is kind of to because every movie is a totally it's a new system, a new experience, it's a new process, and it's kind of it's pushed by the story ideally, so you get I get to learn like the best ways to approach certain story aspects from working with other directors. So I would, to be honest, if it were up to me, I would continue to work as I would continue to support other directors for the rest of my career, and then mix it up with directing my own films, but then going back and I really love being part of the team and supporting other brilliant directors. I'm not a genius yet, but I really love working for geniuses. And I learned so much in that role. It's also there's not as much pressure when it's not your project. You can kind of have fun with the process and the technical aspects. I can obsess about the composition and the way that the camera is behaving much more when I'm just operating, because when I direct, I also operate camera. So I think in the very beginning that was really tricky because literally on take one, when I started directing, I had the camera in my hand and I said, okay, camera set. And I was waiting for a director to cue me for action. I just sat there saying, camera set. I'm ready to go. And then it slowly dawned on me. It took probably longer than it should have. The actors are standing there and everybody's ready and quiet. And I was like, why isn't somebody calling action? And then I went, oh shit, that's me. I'm supposed to call action. So I'm like, and action. It was really funny. But you know,
that is
happens.
funny.
But everyone just the people on the set at that in those times when it happened, they just thought I was so focused and I was preparing to begin. That I was, but really I'd forgot that I was directing. To be honest. I mean, man,
that's funny.
For 27.
Oh yeah,
27 years. I've been I've had directors telling me when to go and where to go. So it is a big, it's a nice shock to realize that I'm actually in control now. I can do what I want, and what I think and the way I feel actually matters, and I can I can do it. It's pretty amazing, to be honest. It is a magical.
Yeah, you step out of that comfort zone.
Yeah.
Jim Jam knows about that.
What comfort? What about
the comfort zone of interviewing people?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Now, when we first started Jim Jam, he wasn't as comfortable on the microphone as he is now.
I don't have a radio voice like that.
It ain't radio voice. He wasn't as comfortable on that microphone as he is now. Now he's real comfortable.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's the comfort zone.
He owns it.
Yeah, like I mean, you got to get comfortable doing it because I get nervous. Like he tell me, "Oh, we're interviewing this one." I'm like, "Oh man, I don't know."
Yeah,
like every week, it's just every week. But stepping out of the comfort zone, it makes you feel better after you've done it too.
Yeah. Like he gets nervous, and I'm like, "Why are you getting nervous?" And they're like, "Should I be nervous too or something?"
Well, I get nervous too, but then I realize ultimately, we're just like it's like sitting down and have a drink with some friends and having a chat. If I was, if we were sitting in front of an audience, I don't know, the vibe would be very different. But like, this is a nice kind of a venue for just to
see. I get more nervous like interviewing directors and writers than I do the actors, really. Like, the big names, like, because it's like, well, I don't know.
So, Richie, you're making Johnny nervous.
No, I'm good. I wish well, I was nervous because I didn't get to watch the movie. Then that's where, because I really wanted.
That's a bummer.
But I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you still got to talk about the movie. And let's go back to the movie. And Jim Jam brought this up with Russell. Like, you wrote down the rape scenes.
Yeah.
But Russell was the one acting in it. So how was it to direct? Like he said, he was just uncomfortable as could be.
Yeah, didn't he say something also that he was really, like he was in a different mindset after making that movie? Like it fucked him up pretty bad.
Yeah, it messed with him for a little bit.
It kind of scrambled Russell's brain a bit. The thing is that the performance was so brilliant, and I think there's a price to pay when you go that deep into, into a very dark subject. And we invented it, together. I think that, you're right. So the question being like, so the difference between, it's easy to write and it's really executing it is a whole nother deal. It's funny. There's so many moments in that when we were writing, we're having fun and we're laughing and we're like, holy shit, this is really hardcore. And then we push it a little further and a little further until we're really on the verge of going too far. And then we go ahead and we go, okay, let's go too far. So we would go a little too far. We're very brave when we're writing, but then when it's time to execute it, it's time to execute it and actually shoot it, man, you just, it was a little bit of a out of body experience for me as well. The words are, the words are on the page. We kind of, it's like you have a contract with the story itself that you promise that you're gonna deliver what you intended to. So whatever I went through it pales in comparison to what Russell had to go through. And the rape scene was when we filmed it. so the thing is that if I can go into the. It's not really a spoiler, but what we did was we had we had shot all of Mama's parts in the very beginning, right?
Okay,
and
yeah.
All the scenes that had her in it, it feels like she's live on the screen, but we actually had her. We had shot all of her bits, and then my producer Ray he had assembled all of it together, so that basically she would kind of be driving the scene, so because we had already, we directed her, and then so it was almost like she's directing now, right?
Yeah.
And that first rape scene that we did, the video for Mama was 9 minutes long.
Damn.
Right. So that's a long at the time. And I said to Ray, Ray, this is too long, bro. And he said, let's just do it. It is what it is. And Ray was really fearless and badass about not letting any of us cut any corners on how disturbing we were going to be. But I thought it was because on the page it's only 2 minutes.
Oh,
Ray,
wow.
Ray made it turned out to be like 9 minutes of Mama, kind of pushing and dictating this scene. And so we had to do when we ran the scene. Yeah, it was a full 9 minutes for each take. If we did the whole take, and we did it so many times, man, it was quite disturbing. At one point, Kelly Woodcock is the girl that plays our first victim. We had to tie her up, and then we'd shoot the takes, and then in between takes we'd go downstairs, kind of walk away from the set, have a cigarette, and we're getting ready for the next.
Would you leave her tied up?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. I accidentally left her tied up.
Oh no!
Downstairs, and she's like, guys, hello. Did you forget me? I was like, oh my god, we left Kelly tied up upstairs.
I was going to joke about that, and you just went downstairs, left her tied up,
We
and then
did, for real.
Oh my god! I was going to make that joke, but I was like,
She's probably like thinking,
Jim
this is
Jam
real.
jumped in.
This is fucking real.
I can't believe I got myself into this.
Exactly.
Holy
Yeah,
shit!
she must have. Yeah, I felt pretty bad. I mean, luckily she's a friend of ours. I've known her for a while, so.
That's
Should have went in
You
there
said
just
it,
like,
baby.
just fucking Leah.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So she knew it. She could hear us downstairs talking and having cigarettes and etc.
Damn.
It was pretty funny. Yeah, poor thing. That was kind of a nice way to kind of I don't know, just have a moment to laugh it all off.
Yeah, cut the tension.
Kind of like look at what you're doing. It's quite surreal. It is surreal to look at what you're doing. Now, for me, it's all very deep personal metaphors. The whole film, really the whole story. But I think for Russell and for Ray, we wrote it together. So, the film is just absolutely full of metaphors that we could relate to personally, directly. Metaphors for our life. So that yeah, it's heavy, man. It's heavy to have to execute some of the stuff.
Was that the
having to direct Mama, the character who plays the mother. She's this sweet older woman, Irish woman, and man, I kind of realized when I was writing it that again it made my skin crawl that we were gonna force an old lady to say the things that she has to say for the movie. But she was great. She had a great attitude about it. I mean, she knew it. It was hardcore.
Was that like the? How do I put it? I wouldn't say the worst scene, but is that the heaviest thing that you've done as a cameraman? Like doing that scene?
Oh, it's good. That's a good question. I would probably have to say yeah. Though I think Who's Watching Oliver had the heaviest scenes that I've ever.
You wrote your heaviest scene doing.
Period. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I've done a lot.
Like you forced yourself to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Put myself way outside of my comfort zone.
Yeah, like you forced yourself outside of that comfort zone. Like, oh shit.
Yeah.
What the fuck did I do?
Like halfway around the world.
Yeah.
But would you?
I live in Thailand. I've been living abroad for the last 17 years. So So, I, you know, I'm literally outside of my comfort zone, and then creatively, I push myself equally as far, a world away from, reality.
Yeah, I'd say it has to be was it a big difference, culture shock, I guess you call it, coming from the States to over there?
It was, yeah, for sure in the beginning. And I still kind of catch little hints of culture shock. What's funny is when I go back to the States now, I have reverse culture shock where
imagine. You're like, what do they do here?
I'm like, yeah.
Americans are assholes.
Well, no, America's become like this kind of, I can see this really charming culture that I wasn't aware of before, that I am I'm much more aware of the charming aspects of American culture and American people. And, it's almost like I'm a tourist when I go home,
Oh, yeah.
Some of them are crybaby bitches, though.
Place to be.
We do have a lot of whiny people in America with the, what is it called? Political correctness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of that.
It's interesting because...
Go ahead.
Well, the movie was very... Who's watching Oliver is not politically correct, probably.
No, not at all.
And that's where it's just like, man, loosen up.
Well, in a way, I think that if you go too far, then it's almost like I think that people can see really that these are they're bigger metaphors for other aspects of life. But if you don't go far enough, then people kind of like cling to what the subject matter is of what you're doing. But there's something powerful about going too far, taking a metaphor and going really big with it, almost like mythical. Because really, it's it's it becomes more philosophical rather than like a statement about about the current events in society, of now. So I think almost it's better. People won't cling to the aspects of what's quote unquote acceptable or unacceptable if you go too far. It's clearly symbolic rather than a statement of about human behavior, realistic human behavior now. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna go on a little trend thing. Talk about a little trend thing here.
Oh God.
Is any Thai?
No, I don't.
Hold on. Thai people, are they doing the Tide Challenge?
Oh, the Tide Challenge.
Tide Pod Challenge.
Ain't that stupid?
What's that? What is it?
You haven't heard about the Tide Pod Challenge?
You know what the pods are? Them little bitty gel packs of detergent now they got?
No, I don't know anything about that.
But you know what Tide is? Like Tide washing detergent?
Yeah.
Well,
they got the little pods where you throw in the washing machine.
Instead of pouring it in the cup now and all that, they got them in the little pouches that dissolve in the washer. Well, they got some
kids are putting them in their mouth.
Stupid kids nowadays are putting them in their mouth and biting into them.
This is how America is.
Oh, no, I haven't heard about that at all.
Hey, there's
only in America.
Hey, Richie.
You could start a stupid trend in Thailand.
No, not a trend. Let's see a short film from you about the Tide Pods.
Tide Pods.
Tide Pod.
Yeah.
All right, I'll look it up when we're done with this.
Oh, dude, yeah, I'm sure you'll see it all over the place.
People, like kids, are dying from it or going to the hospital. I don't know if they're dying, but they're like stomach's got to be pumped. Like it's like, come on, like
that's ridiculous.
It's stupid asses. I thought you was going to ask a different question.
Yeah, I mean, people do crazy things to get attention.
Yeah, and this is it's like, man, the youth.
Can I get an executive producer credit for if you make a short film?
Yes, you can. Original story.
Well, just the idea. I come up with a lot of ideas that I think should be like short films or whatever. So
yeah, we should get an email going back and forth about story ideas.
Well,
I'm game on for any new ideas, especially anything that's kind of like outside of the spectrum.
Well, I think this would be a perfect short film talking about kids eating Tide Pods.
Well, but it's only going. It's not going to last that long.
We're going to fly you out to Bangkok.
If you can get that paid for, because I can't pay for it. Hey, convince one of them movie companies to fly a Tennessee Horror News out there, and we'll cover whatever you need us to.
Yeah.
I'll call my people right now.
Yeah. You have them contact our people, which is us.
Yeah, I answer the email.
I'll answer the phone.
You are your people.
Hello. Yes, this is.
All right, I want to. This is a trend from everybody we've talked to that's been in Thailand, and I'm going to do it regardless. The ladyboy situation.
I can't believe you're talking about this again. Okay.
It's just intriguing.
But what do you want to ask him about this?
I don't know. Just
it's okay.
Is it a bunch of little?
We could have, but we avoided, touching on that subject in our film, because really the film didn't really. Yeah, we shot it here, but it's really not about Bangkok at all. It's not about Thailand at all. It's just about the story. So, but if you want to be honest,
could have killed some
yes, it's a phenomenon here. It's actually quite common, and it's more. It's the transgender ladyboy phenomena. It's part. It's very accepted. It's very. There's no gay rights movement in Thailand because the gay community here has all the rights that they've always had, rights. So yeah, it's more common. I think because it's not looked down upon so much here.
Or with, I guess, the word taboo.
Yeah, it's not so taboo here. I mean, I'll go to the convenience store or to the bank, for instance, and the teller or the cashier will be, open, like a very obvious ladyboy, a man that's wearing lipstick and acting very, very effeminate. And it's just, they're just part of society. It's not really taboo. It's like
everyday thing, right?
Well,
yeah, it's just chill here.
Like, since you've been there 17 years,
yeah.
Like, how was it? Was it there 17 years ago?
Oh yeah, it's.
But like not as widely known. Well, I guess it probably was known, but the internet wasn't as blowed up.
Yeah, the internet was still. I mean, I didn't realize. These are all. There's a lot of aspects of Thai culture that I wasn't aware of that over the years I became aware of, and then but like more in a gentle way to kind of realize there's a darker side to it where these transgender these are basically men who want to be women who want to be with straight guys.
Yeah.
So they don't want to be with they're not interested in gay men at all. They're interested in straight guys. And so it's actually kind of a sad story for them. I find that they're in the least likely to succeed demographic. They need to either trick a guy into believing that they're a woman, or they end up with some creepy kinky guy who's into that treats them like a sex toy. So I found that because I've had some close friends. Actually, my first 5 years in Thailand, I lived with a gay couple, and I learned a lot about the gay culture in Thailand, or even international gay culture. And I find that what happens is that they the most important relationships that they have is with each other, because they're so alienated from the rest of society. So it's actually kind of there's a sadness to it as well. And also, as they grow older, they're so obsessed with beauty and their vanity. As they grow older, it's really hard for them to, as their beauty fades away, there's a really high rate of suicide. So it's a pretty serious issue.
I mean, like when you go deep into it, that is.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Yeah, but on the on the lighter side, it is funny to watch. To see a tourist here that doesn't. There's tourists walking around that really don't know what they're doing, and you see them clearly like holding hands with a ladyboy, and they have no idea.
They just think they're like, I'm about to score with a Thai chick.
No, exactly.
You're about to score
or they're
with
just
a Thai
like,
dude.
I can't believe this pretty woman is wanting to be around me. Oh my God, this is amazing.
It's funny. I like to quietly watch and chuckle.
You're sitting over there having a beer, sitting out there on the cafe on the street, just
He's about to get a hell of a surprise.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh God.
That's funny.
That makes me want to. I always wanted to use this word, but segue into.
Yeah, go ahead.
Big word.
Nice.
You said you did Hangover 2. No, that movie
Yeah.
is pretty iconic with the lady boy, especially Stu.
What's the
Yeah.
He gets messed up and end up getting banged by a lady boy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
Was you involved in shooting? Well, they didn't really shoot no scene like that. They just took pictures, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. It was kind of revealed at the end.
But just being in that atmosphere.
I was the A camera operator for all of the action.
Oh.
So I wasn't actually, I wasn't that involved with all the drama scenes, etc.
Yeah. The dialogue and
So,
all that.
Yeah. So I don't have a lot of insider experience with what the intricacies of what happened on set, but I know that everybody was having a lot of fun, and
What about
that project was at the time I think it was probably the biggest budget that's ever come to Thailand, and one of the things that stands out in my mind about that project is that there's such thing as too much money.
Yeah.
Where you don't have to make a decision because you can afford not to. So they kind of, I saw that that just added a lot of anxiety and stress to the whole crew, that decisions weren't being made because they could afford to wait to the last minute and change their mind, and just kind of tied everybody in knots. It was a tough project. I mean, the thing about when you're doing a comedy, I worked on a lot of comedies. Comedies are really hard. It's really hard work because you need to give the actors space and time to make the comedy work.
Yeah.
And honestly, comedy is the hardest genre. So that movie was really challenging. It was a hard job for everybody involved.
Yeah, because you do have action, but the comedy is what has to show through more.
So the action
Exactly.
scenes, what do you mean when you do the action scenes like on that movie? What was it?
Okay,
Like when they're
there's
on the
like
run
the
and
car.
shit?
There's a car chase. There's
Yeah.
motorcycles chasing them and shooting at them, and the monkeys hanging out of the car.
Oh yeah, that's what I was going to ask about. You get to shoot. You got to shoot the monkey.
Yeah, we worked with
Not
that monkey.
shoot it,
That monkey was
film it.
one of the most
Oh, yeah.
professional. That monkey's one of the most professional performers I've ever worked with in my life.
Wow, so very intelligent animal, huh?
Yeah, smarter than
better,
most actors.
It's just better behaved than the actors, probably too.
So you do
It's
this,
trained a lot better.
and it doesn't.
I'm just
Yeah,
joking.
exactly.
I love all the actors.
I'm
I
just
work with.
kidding. That's what I was.
It's hard work.
Oh yeah. Just admit it. The next movie you're going to make is going to be all animals because they're easier to work with.
Yeah, man, animals are hard. I mean, the reason that's like the most working monkey in Hollywood because it's really well trained and it hits its marks, it does what it needs to do, and it gets a lot of money because normally working with animals is a nightmare because everything you can't ultimately at the end of the day you can't really control anybody, and especially you can't control children or animals.
I say that would be tough.
Sometimes you just you're literally you're praying that they're going to do what you need them to do. Sometimes you just get lucky, or you get a real pro. But children and animals are that makes for a hard day work.
What would you say would be the hardest movie filming wise that you worked on for you?
Off the top of my head, I would say that there's a film called No Escape.
Yeah.
That I did.
I didn't get to watch that.
That was Owen Wilson and Pierce Brosnan with they find themselves caught in a coup in Southeast Asia, and they have to escape. And
I wanted to watch that movie, but I didn't get to.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. It's one of those films where I watched it with my expectations weren't my expectations, they were what they were. I knew that we made a good film, but it exceeded my expectations in the kind of the heart that it had. But it was hard work, man, because I was operating camera, handheld, the whole time they're on the run.
Yeah.
And our director, he was a real stickler for playing things realistic, so we couldn't cheat much. So I was literally running as fast as I can backwards with a big cinema camera on my shoulder, like almost every take, every day, 12 hours a day.
Damn.
Running backwards as fast as you can it's a really hard thing to do because you're looking through the lens and running backwards.
Yeah, you just hope to God there's nothing behind you.
Yeah, you have to just let go, man. It's I don't know what to compare it to. You really have to trust that, the grip and the support, the camera support guys, they're clearing the way. And yeah, because I fell a couple times on that movie, but I'd say that was
Did you wear elbow pads?
I did. Well, I didn't wear elbow pads, but I wear armored gloves and knee pads. I mean, I look like some sort of a combat ninja.
Because I just think, like, if you fell backwards, you could land on your elbows, and that would hurt so freaking. Your head, smashing your freaking head back.
Yeah, you want to protect you basically just land on your back, on kind of your back and your shoulders. You want to protect the camera and protect your head from because the camera's gonna, the camera can, smash your head. So, but there was a couple of falls. I had, I think, 2 or 3 falls on that movie.
Did anybody get them? Did anybody videotape that? Did anybody videotape that?
Is there any?
Good question.
Because we need that in the extended scenes, like the behind the scenes stuff. Like that'd be. I'm not going to say it'd be funny, but it'd be funny. I'm going to say it.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'd probably, I'd laugh watching.
Everybody likes watching people fall down. I mean, that's why the internet is.
Yeah,
with
$500,000 of camera equipment.
Yeah,
on your shoulder.
I mean, it's like, oh, look at this guy, he saves it. Oh my God.
You know what you say?
Richie saves it.
How about instead of I'll take a salary, can I just have this camera after we done shooting?
$500,000 camera. Damn.
I say you would probably take it in a heartbeat, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would. It's good to have a machine.
Hell yeah.
At your side every day.
So,
but nowadays, to be honest, you can shoot films with DSLR cameras, and it's
people do it with iPhones. So
the trick is just you need to be around actors. Well, write a story, have actors around, have a camera in your hand, and make a movie
and have good actors.
That's how I got started directing. I just I got to the point where I realized I was ready, and half the projects I work on, I'll read the script, and I get I get so disappointed. I'm like, oh geez. So, and I'm not talking about my own films. I'm talking about movies that are jobs. So I mean, honestly, half the time I read the script and I'm like, oh man, we're gonna do all this work for this story. So
there's a lot of them out there.
Look, if I'm the next time I read a script that I don't like, I'm gonna turn down the movie and I'm gonna make my own film. And that's kind of what led me to making Who's Watching Oliver. Was like, I'm just done. I'm done working on bad movies. I'd rather take some time off and make my own films. And I'm happy to work on a good film with a good story, but that's what bad movies were a great motivator for me to start making my own films.
But see, you got to have the connection. You got to have because even if you write a good story, if you got crappy actors. I mean,
the trick is.
And you gotta have a good director, like you said, cameraman, cinematographer. Like everything's got to run good.
Yeah, well, I think that when you have a great story, the rest of the elements kind of can rise up. It's kind of like it sets the bar for what you need to execute. And if ideally you have people that believe in the story, you may not have the best actors or the best technicians, but I think we do it in honor of the story itself. And then, a lot of magic can happen just with a good story,
Definitely.
Well, what else are you working on? Can you say?
Yeah, that's it.
That's what you were wanting to say.
Let's see. I've been working on some TV commercials as a director of photography and a camera operator. I just did a music video for Tyga, the hip hop artist.
Oh, I bet that was lovely.
It was fun. He was a good guy.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Hell, there's nothing wrong with that.
The baby daddy of Kylie.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
He's a good guy.
Hell yeah.
But, it was fun. It was cool to have him. He's an American guy, and
reason I said that
out of his element, he did really well.
He actually smartened up and got away from that family as much as he could, anyways.
I don't know anything about this story.
That family will drag you to the ground.
Well,
they're crazy people.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It'll make.
I don't want that to mess with anything.
It'll bring down gods because Kanye is a god, and it mentally broke him. Just saying. But the short films that you've worked on, Screaming at Stars and Crazy Medicine, are those available to? Is there a way to get to watch them or?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I can send you the copies of those projects.
Yeah, because I was trying to find them on YouTube or somewhere, but
yeah, I can send you. I'll send you links. But both those projects, Screaming at Stars is now doing the festival circuit, and it's got a lot of. We've actually been winning a bunch of awards, and it's been really well received. And we're now developing that into a feature film.
Oh hell yeah! Sweet.
What genre is that?
It's more kind of like it's
sci-fi-ish,
really dark fantasy, a little bit of sci-fi.
Yeah,
it's a psychological thriller. I would say it's more. It's not so much. It's not really horror. I mean, it's got.
He's a time, but you can say what it is because he travels to other dimensions, but he's starting to become somebody else. Is that correct?
Yeah, which is again, it's a metaphor. You know, for me personally, that film is. I mean, that film is very. It's very personal for my own personal life, where you know, when I go off and work on a movie, you know, and meanwhile I have a relationship with my partner, I found that, you know, that movie's really a metaphor for myself and for people, you know, men and women that work that have a lifestyle where they leave their partner for, you know, weeks or months at a time, and then they come back.
Yeah, and they're a little bit different.
They've changed.
Yeah,
basically, it was kind of an apology in a way. It was like a very formal apology for driving people crazy. You know, I go off. You know, it's like when you go make a movie, you join the circus. I guess you could compare it to being deployed. I mean, I'm not saying that.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that you know, I don't understand. You know, I'm not military, never been, but I can imagine that there's some parallels to. You know, you're deployed and you're gone and you're on a mission, and you create bonds and you grow and you change, and then you come back into your real life, and there's a bit of a shock there because you've been on this adventure and changed, and your partner meanwhile
holding down the fort
at home. Yeah, and so that I mean that's what the film is it's a metaphor for that. But I really enjoyed, you know, kind of digging into that phenomena, and in the film it's more like, you know, we're dealing with the multiverse, so you have different versions of them that are trying to deal with a relationship.
I'm into that.
Yeah, so it's you know, kind of like there's a rabbit hole you can go down. It was interesting. I really enjoyed that project, and like I said, we're making a feature film out of that. We're going to go deeper into that.
Yeah, I definitely want to see that short film. You seen that? I want to see both of them. I mean, that sounds good. I'm down with that. I like the movies where things change.
Yeah. Crazy Medicine's totally different. It was more of a that one. It wasn't quite as, you know, I didn't write that film, but I enjoyed the exercise. For me was for me to direct something that I didn't write and see how I felt about it, and it was interesting. I'm still learning that, you know, that aspect of the craft. I mean, you know, it's going to come down. If I'm going to be directing full time, I'm going to need to direct, you know, scripts that I didn't write. So I learned a lot from it, and it's a challenge that I'll continue to take on. I mean, to be honest, I prefer directing projects that I wrote because you know, you know that every moment of the film represents a part of yourself that you can easily identify with. You can kind of own the moments, and you know, really, you know where you're going and where you're coming from. So it's interesting. I'm curious to see, as my career as a director blossoms, to see how I manage, you know, work with stories that I didn't write.
I'm sure after everybody gets to watch Who's Watching Oliver and it gets shit, you know, put out there for everyone, it'll take off.
I'm sure.
Be good to go.
Yeah, well, it's funny because my father told me, you know, when I was quite young, actually. I don't know, maybe I was 10 years old or something. When I was 5 years old, I decided I wanted to be a cameraman when I grew up. And that's all I ever wanted to do. And lo and behold, I've had the blessing and the honor of being able to have that career. But my dad told me, he said, you're a writer, you know that? And, when I was younger, I was like, no, thanks. I don't want to write. That's boring. I want to focus on camera. But he's like, no, but you are a writer, And I said, no, Dad, I'm not a writer, And he said, but you're a storyteller, and that's what a writer is. So
yeah,
I'm certainly not classically trained in literature or in writing itself, but I think it's about paying attention to what you're experiencing in life and being able to watch other stories and have that empathy that you can reach into it. So yeah, it turns out I am a writer, but when I show up on set, I'm not precious about the words that we wrote. It's nice to have actors that also have a writer's brain, where we can make it all, we can make it better.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. I'm curious to see what my future as a writer as well. I'm more excited about that, to be honest, because we have to, everyone else on the film crew is merely, we're working for the story, and there's not really a higher position or a higher purpose than above writing, because everything we do is dictated by the writing. So,
speaking, I was thinking of your next one. You can do a bioepic of me and Johnny.
Oh my God, that'd be the freaking worst.
Hold on.
Let's start writing.
In our bios, Johnny has a very interesting
we're not
bio.
going into this
No,
again.
he can't talk about it because it's illegal. What was it called?
Dude,
Trailer park what? Just
Park
say
food?
Park food. Yeah, he is.
Dude, we can't talk about it, man.
Yeah.
Sounds
No.
it sounds like my kind of movie.
Yeah,
very disturbing.
the whole movie, you can't talk about it.
That's the whole movie. It's called Park Food.
I'm not even, no.
But you can't talk
Park
about
food.
Can't talk about anything.
Yeah.
It could
challenge for
be,
the
hey, it could be Trailer Park
talk.
Boys meets Kung Fu.
Yeah, that's exactly
Right on.
Well, Richie, man, we appreciate you coming on with this.
Oh yeah, my pleasure, guys.
Yeah, we held you up for an hour. Jimmy told you 35,
No worries,
40
man.
minutes.
My pleasure. Well, thanks for having me on,
man,
guys.
this is a great interview, man. We appreciate you coming on and waking up early and talking to us. And we,
Oh yeah, it's great. I'm really glad that the film's getting exposure and that you guys are interested in us as filmmakers. And no, I'm honored to be on it. Thanks a lot, guys.
Hey, as soon as we get to see the movie, we'll get one of our writers to write up a new review to more
Okay, great.
up to date, I guess you will call it,
I don't know if it can be more.
or one of our current writers.
Yeah. There you go.
Right on.
But yeah, we really appreciate it, and we'll definitely keep in touch.
We really hope everything works out for you and just
Thanks, guys.
keep growing.
We'll have big news in the weeks to come. We're looking at I believe a March global release, worldwide release in March. So we're excited about it.
Shoot it over and let us know, man.
Yeah,
So
we'll
we can
get
post it
Sure.
and share it out to everybody that we talk to.
We'll get a writer to write up a write-up,
Yeah.
to write up a write-up.
Writer to write up a write up.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Yes, sir.
All right, you have a good day. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, you guys too.
All right, bye.
See you,
Good
Rich.
to talk to you. Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye.
All right, guys. So that was Richie Moore. We hope you enjoyed that interview. Just a little bit more about Who's Watching Oliver. We haven't seen the movie, but just from everything, like the write-up that Bradford did and everything, unfortunately, I didn't get to watch the movie. Hopefully, we will get to watch it soon, and you
Me
will
either.
too. I mean, what?
I said me either.
Yeah. But, I mean, damn, dude. That movie's going to be good. I think it's going to be good.
Oh yeah, it looks like it's gonna be crazy as hell. So
I'm really looking forward to seeing his short films too, especially the Screaming at Stars, because once I read it and watched the whatever.
are you a sci-fi geek?
Well, I like the whole, like, he goes to different dimensions, and then when he comes back, his girlfriend's just like, you're not the same person anymore. Is it because you can go somewhere else and find a happy me?
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, dude. What if he goes off and he kills all of his other doppelgangers in his other dimensions? So then he can beat them.
So is he kind of hitting on like the whole DC universe type thing?
I don't think so.
Well, it's a
He just
multiverse.
Well, interdimensional travel. I mean, there's in a lot of films, a lot of stories. I mean, I don't know how many.
Guess it all don't have to
But
be.
yeah, just go check him out. I wish we would have got his. See if he had a Twitter. I didn't ask. Unfortunately, but oh well. You know, that was a really good interview. Go check us out on all of the social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Horror Amino.
Yep. All the above.
And listen to this on all the other good stuff. And Scarface Radio. Scarface.com.
Faux shizzle.
Faux shizzle. Man. Really. Talking about Kanye and faux shizzle.
Faux shizzle, my nizzle.
We hit on some good subjects on this one. Jeez.
See, you're just like totally that drained you when I said
Yeah.
faux shizzle. You're like,
Well, I don't mind the faux shizzle, but it just reminded me of your Kanye and Kim Kardashian talk. It's pretty fucking lame.
lame.
Lame. Nerd.
Nerd.
That's a little wrestling talk.
Yeah. So, yeah. I guess that's all we got. We out.
Peace.